what's your name?
Mowgli.
Okay. And so where are you from, man?
From Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay. So what brought you out here?
Me and some friends are doing a Midwest occupation outreach tour for the Occupy Louisville. And we're kind of going around. We've been to Lexington, Bloomington, Indiana, and last stop here is Chicago before going home. And we're here to check out all these other occupations in the Midwest who are kind of in like a similar situation as our own, and seeing what we can learn from them and what we can share with them.
So what is basically your reason for being in the movement?
I'm participating in the nationwide occupation movement because I think it's time to get rid of the ruling class. They set the structure up so that it benefits themselves at the expense of the vast majority of the population. Here we see a governing body which is in no way representative of the population that is supposed to be governing, and we see laws that are in no way benefiting the majority of the population. For example, like the continuance of the Bush tax cuts under Obama, and things like that, which are obviously sending all the wealth, concentrating all the wealth into the hands of the people who are already wealthy, while making it even harder for everyday people to survive. And we see that in the ways that people in the government are trying to cut all these social programs that so many people rely on, such as Planned Parenthood and Head Start education. You know, these are things that the 99% rely on to live, while things like tax cuts for the rich are things that only really make a minuscule amount of difference for those who already have a whole lot of wealth. We don't need a ruling class. We never had. People are getting organized. Not only is this movement one that is a direct challenge to those in power, but it's also a way for the general population to find new ways to organize itself and to relate with itself and do things in a more egalitarian manner. We see this how like we're feeding each other here. We're talking to each other openly and friendly. We're providing medical services for each other. People in these occupations are kind of being very supportive of each other, no matter where they're from. This is kind of like a very different way than people in the United States have a tendency to do things, at least in my observation.
Definitely. So what would be your message to the people?
Rise up.
Definitely. Well, thank you, man. So what was your name?
I'm Riley.
Okay. And where are you from?
I'm from Kansas City. I'm actually from a little town called Hays, Kansas, but I'm from Occupy Kansas City.
Okay. And so what made you come over here to Chicago?
I came to Chicago for fall break, but I got involved with the Occupy movement because of our increasing debt and the lack of worth that a degree is now. My mother has 2 master's degrees, and she's working in a furniture store making like $14 an hour, which is pretty ridiculous. So I don't want to graduate college and then have a $6 an hour job. That's just ridiculous. Yeah.
And so what do you look to get from Occupy Chicago and to bring it over and Occupy Kansas?
The energy here is insane. I mean, it's 1 o'clock and there's probably, what do you think, like 70 people here at least? So I want to bring the energy back. I love the drums. The drums are a very good idea because they make noise and they say we're here, besides just chanting. So I'm actually going to go back and suggest that. And then I want to check out the GA and see if you guys do it any differently. And then if you do, then I would like to bring that back as well.
And so what would your message be to the people over in Wall Street and the people in these buildings right here?
When you don't listen to the people, bad things happen. I feel like this is almost a warning to what's going to come. Because right now, the Occupy movement is very peaceful. And I don't think that the Occupy movement in itself will get violent. Except for police meetings and all that. But there might be another group in the future, if you don't listen to us now, that is a lot less peaceful. And they're going to have to deal with that. So, you know, take heed now or pay the price later.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
all right. So what's your name, man?
My name is Chris.
Where are you from?
Chicago.
Chicago. So why did you decide to come out?
So I feel passionate about why we're out here. I guess a lot of people still have that question why we're out here, but I think everyone out here knows why we came here and why we've been out here for weeks. There's something really wrong with our monetary system. The people that create our money, the Federal Reserve Bank, there's nothing federal about them. They're not part of the government. They're very private, only partially government regulated. And they shouldn't be printing our money. They print it, they loan it to our government with interest, creates this perpetual system of debt. It doesn't make sense. And so, to me, that's the heart of the issue. Of course, we could go, deep into, in recent memory, I can just, the housing market crashed a couple years ago. A lot of people are upset about that, and that's why they're out here. But if we just eliminated the Fed, the Federal Reserve, we could eliminate a lot of other problems.
And so how long you been out here for?
This is about 2 weeks for me.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
So what? Hold on, after this. So what would be your message to the people in Wall Street and the people in these buildings that we're out here for?
That we're not going anywhere. We're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna be here until we see the change we want to see.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. What's your name?
My name is Emilio. Emilio Estevez, EMI-LIO.
Okay. So why are you here?
I'm here because this is a movement that hasn't been seen in 3 or 4 decades. The fact is, our economic system on a global scale is breaking down, and there's nothing anyone can do to save it. Especially the politicians or the banksters or whatever you want to call them, the financial aristocracy. They can't save the capitalist system from breaking down. The fact is, only the workers, when they have democratically taken over the institutions and the corporations and have gradually reorganized the economy to be human and social need as opposed to private profit. Basically, only when the masses of working people have organized, as we are doing now, totally independent of the two-party system, the two big business parties and the trade union bureaucracy like the AFL-CIO, which sides with the Democratic Party. Only then we begin to see a true change. We're not just here for reform or new laws or new legislation. We're here to go further than that. Reforms have gotten us this far and it's not enough. We're not here to ask for anything, but we're here to demand everything.
Okay, so what's your message to Wall Street and the people over in these buildings right here?
It's interesting because a lot of the people in these buildings actually support us. They raise the sign that says we're the 1%, when in reality, if you're working in the office, you're probably not in the 1%. If you're working at all, you're probably not in the top 1%. There's people there that make $105K a year, and they support us because they're still probably 98%. You know what I mean? So our message isn't exactly to these people, but to what they represent, and that's gonna stop. We're not gonna take this anymore. We're not gonna take the endless killing of innocent civilians overseas. The polluting of our air and our water and our food and things like that. This is just a result of corporations, but of our economic and political system itself. Like I said, capitalism is breaking down. FDR managed to save it. Obama won't do that. We need to mobilize the masses independently, as we are doing right now, which is why this is This is a global international movement, which is what's so exciting. We're based in over 1,000 cities, including in Sweden, Russia, Germany, and every state in the United States basically is occupied. And so the fact is, we're going to stay here for months. This is our Tahrir Square. We're going to stay here until we really start to see some change. And like I said, we're not just looking to talk to politicians. We don't care for politicians, we care for the people.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what was your name?
Dr. Laura Chamberlain.
Okay. And so, what brought you over here?
I'm with a bunch of organizations that are looking at the economy and economic solutions. I'm with Privatization Watch Illinois. We're working very hard to keep from selling all of our public assets, our roads, our schools, our water, they want to buy everything. They want to buy everything. Here's the skinny for everybody, okay? Anybody who watches this. The Federal Reserve gave $16 trillion. Forget the bailouts. That was just the magic trick in front of the curtain. $16 trillion came from the Federal Reserve to the big banks and bailed them out. It is much bigger than people think. They are sitting on that whole pool of money. This money went to Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, even went to Bank of Scotland, Deutsche Bank. Central banks around the world got our money, and they are sitting on that money, and they are going to come in and buy our stuff. They want our parks, they want our water, they want our schools, they want our hospitals, they want our roads, they want everything. So that's why we formed Privatization Watch Illinois, and one of the ways that we're going to fight this is by pushing an Illinois state bank, where Illinois takes all of their funds, all of their fees, all of their taxes, and puts it in our bank, owned by the people. Right now, they have contracts with JP Morgan and the big banks to hold our money, so we're just giving them more money, and we get our money. We get to loan it out to our students, our businesses, our communities, even our municipalities, so that they can build the infrastructure, create the jobs, and keep our stuff public. We have to do that, or else we're going to have the parking meter fiasco that happened here in Chicago 100 times fold. So we are working desperately. So please go to publicbankinginstitute.org and look at it for yourself. And you can go to Privatization Watch Illinois, info at privatizationwatchillinois.net and contact me. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Very much. Illinois.
The 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. The 99%. The 99%. We are the 99%.